Hello, dear sports friends. Greetings to everyone. My name is Andras from Hungary. Since I returned from Austria just a few days ago from the Hintertux Glacier where I spent 5 wonderful days skiing, I would like to tell you how I discovered this magical place. It happened in August 1999. My wife Irina and I had grown a bit tired of everyday life, work, raising kids, and the whole treadmill. On a sudden impulse, we decided that we wanted to go skiing in the middle of summer. I had already heard a lot about Hintertux from my skiing friends. Fortunately, the grandparents agreed to look after the kids for a few days, so we packed up the Suzuki and set off on the nearly 800-kilometer journey. At that time, GPS didn't exist yet, so we navigated with a map. We got lost a few times, so we only arrived in the Zillertal Valley at dusk, from where a winding road led up the mountain for another half hour. On the way, it started to snow, and with our summer tires, we were sliding on the icy road. Back then, there was no sign of global warming. Irina and I looked at each other. We both felt that we had made a big mistake. Later, of course, it turned out to be exactly the opposite. We had booked accommodation in Madsate, 2 kilometers from the ski slopes, at a guest house called Geneveinhof. The hosts, Hans Mader and his wife Louisa, welcomed us very warmly and served us a delicious hot dinner. This eased our anxiety a little, although we were still somewhat disappointed to have left the warm Hungarian summer for -5 degrees Celsius. We slept well after the exhausting trip. When we looked out the window in the morning sunlight, we were amazed by the sight, and all our disappointment vanished. One of the snow-covered peaks of the Austrian Alps, the 3,400-meter-high Olperer, shone almost within arm's reach. It was early morning, around 6:30, so we tiptoed around the house to avoid waking the hosts. It turned out they had been up since 5 o'clock as usual and were waiting for us with a 5-egg omelet and other delicacies for breakfast. We got a lesson in the industriousness of rural Austrian people. They kept 17 cows and other animals, working practically from morning till night, yet they were cheerful and attentive to their guests. After that, we headed to the ski slopes, where we were amazed at every turn. Until then, we mostly skied in Slovakia, where they didn't have such modern ski lifts at the time. Here, a cable car took us up to the 3,250-meter-high Gefroren Wand Peak, from where the ski runs descended. At that moment, we realized we had made the right decision. We joyfully carved turns on the well-prepared slopes, even in -5 degrees Celsius at noon. We didn't even mind that our ski equipment was a bit makeshift. For example, I had forgotten my ski goggles at home, so I skied wearing regular sunglasses. In the afternoons, we went on long hikes through the nearby forests along well-developed and well-maintained hiking trails. We realized that water was definitely not scarce in this area. Streams gurgled everywhere, and lush green meadows stretched as far as the eye could see. In the evening, we drove down to the town of Meyerhofen, 20 kilometers away. We were amazed there as well. It felt like Budapest's Váci Street had been transplanted into the Austrian mountains, cafes, restaurants, and beautifully decorated shop windows everywhere. In such a beautiful setting, those few days passed very quickly. Early in the morning, we started our journey home. We said goodbye to our hosts, who even prepared some snacks for us to take along. Only then did we realize, since we had arrived in the dark, how beautiful the Zillertal Valley was, like a true jewel box. Irina and I looked at each other and almost said in unison, "Why weren't we born here?" Well, that's something we can't change, but for us, Hintertux has remained a sacred place where we now make pilgrimages several times a year, like the Indians to the Ganges River. So that's the story, dear friends. I hope you've already subscribed to my channel and liked this video. Greetings to everyone. Stay active and do lots of sports.